Yeah.
You go ahead again now.
Back in this motherfucker.
All right, King. Who giving us a thumbs up?
Little light on energy today, bro.
Man, you know me. I'm
light on energy today, bro.
For everybody out here, it's we about 3 weeks past that item.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Tuesday, so about 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't psych out Rat King to be here today. But yeah, you know how we about to do it.
You did. Go off.
Yeah, it's definitely
back.
go off stat. I didn't send a whole runner show itinerary schedule, but I just want our executive producer, you know, he's trying to do his publicity thing with the show. And you know, he was talking about bio, things that's interesting or whatever, is gonna come out. He running it through the copy editor right now.
Yeah.
Original East Beast. I'm from the East.
Right.
Early East days. I wasn't there like right at late 70s, early 80s, but I'm the East Beast.
Close enough.
Yeah.
It's close enough.
To where that was a destination for baby. From Broad and Washington, they in Eastover.
Yes, sir.
With every color PT Cruiser, making my paw drove. So it's been a marathon 3 weeks. It feel like
3 years.
Yeah, easy though.
Yeah.
Easy.
Right quick. Yeah. I know for sure it feel like that for me.
People done went through the dark ages and everything.
Man, I done been in.
Man, speak on them dark ages.
Man, I done been through.
What was?
Two.
We talked about this.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different states in the last 3 weeks, all behind the steering wheel. You know, evacuating from the storm, dipping to Gulfport first. Not actually. Staying in a hotel on Canal Street when the hotel lost power and water. Then dipping to Gulfport for what I thought was a week reservation. Turned out to be a one-night reservation.
Yeah.
Then dipped to Biloxi. Then from Biloxi to Prosper, Texas. Prosper, Texas to Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Back to Prosper, back home. So, you know, my journey is... I done drove a lot of miles to get here. You know what I mean? So yeah, Ida was a bitch for me.
A lot of people are losing a piece of the context. So the storm issue impacted a lot of people.
Right.
Not necessarily in Orleans Parish or Greater New Orleans.
All right.
The post-storm situation. And I don't, you know me and you talk.
The shit was compounded for some people too.
It took us a cool night, 6, 7 hours just talking about different perspectives for us to even line up our timeline of that night.
Yeah.
It was
everybody got their own recollection of how it happened and when it happened. Yeah.
Some people left before, some people left during, some people left after. People came back on different days. A lot of people don't even keep track of that time as like days. They just like, okay.
This shit just happened. It's like a blur.
You flow with it.
Yeah, it's a blur.
And life defining, man.
Oh, absolutely.
16 years later, and me and mine blessed, no, catastrophic. Like if you go out to
La Place,
like Terrebonne Parish,
Grand Isle,
them St. John the Baptist, St. James.
Them people devastated, man.
Man, that's isolated here in Orleans, Jefferson, St. Bernard. Plaquemine. That's just opening back up. Them people still ain't got power yet.
Yeah.
I feel like this was all last year.
Yeah.
Like these 3 weeks have really been a lifetime, dog. And then people still don't have no power.
Yeah. I was talking to one of my partners Saturday, man. We was we was out working and And he was like, man, I still don't have power. And I'm like, God. I'm like, but I mean, the everybody's experience with this shit is different,
Dog.
man. And like we always say, people live different lives, man.
Dog.
Like people's experience with this shit is just. I mean, there literally is a gamut. There is a spectrum of people's experiences, and it's like, the shit is to say that it was such a calamity for this area, this region, this state. You know what I mean? Just to see some people fared out a lot better than some did.
Man, look. So you had one experience. I
Yeah.
think when you told me you dipped after
Yes.
and your spot got fucked up
Yes.
and you was bouncing around.
Yes.
Speak on that because I was here.
Right.
And it was different, like from my lens. Very, again, fortunate, privileged, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, speak on. A lot of people felt like it was Katrina, like, oh, bitch, you saw the storm coming last time. No, it wasn't like that.
Real rap.
The mayor got on TV and said, yeah, if we had time, we would have did the mandatory evacuation.
Because
But
it's not just Louisiana.
just popped
they're like
immediately.
all of the surrounding states have to reverse.
The contraflow.
Yeah, have to reverse flow in their interstates in order to support contraflow. So it's not.
And they responsible for the most vulnerable population.
Yes,
so you
absolutely.
can't do a mandatory evacuation, and then you as the city can't get people
Those
out
people
the
out.
city.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got no
And you
resources
saw what
amassed,
happened
no
with the
transportation.
old people. Man, that's man.
Yeah. Well,
These people.
so
Somebody going to jail behind them old people. I'm just
one of the most memorable statements I heard throughout this whole process was, I believe it was an attorney for Jefferson Parish, and she was speaking about the incident with the elders who were left in the senior center, and she was saying, she was talking, and she was demonstrative. She said, I will address this legally when we return from this situation. I will be sure to address this. And she said that kind of stuff had happened before, so she just tired of it. And I'm gonna see to it that it gets addressed legally. Hey man, if we can't address, yeah, absolutely. If we can't address the concerns of the most vulnerable people in our community, we in trouble. We are definitely in trouble, bro. Yeah, I agree.
somebody going to jail behind that shit.
I totally agree.
Period.
I totally agree. Elder abuse, man. That's a special kind of crime right there, man. And to intentionally leave those folks in a predicament that they left them in, folks who are wheelchair bound, bedridden on the third floor with no functioning elevator, and folks didn't have functioning sewerage in the building and stuff like that. Like, I mean, those are basic conditions that you just give to people, right?
But peep game, though.
Mhm.
So the power went out because not like the tree blew down
Right.
and knocked out the power line like
Yeah.
by your house, right?
Mhm.
Which everybody talking about, okay, why don't we just have the underground line?
Right.
After 1960, 70, most of the neighborhoods in the city got the underground. So that's not what happened.
Mm-hmm.
The power to the city
went
from wherever
All
you
the- all
think
of
you
the-
get your power, whether it's nuclear,
The lines
or-
got dragged into Lake Pontchartrain.
in the river.
They had lines got dragged. No, the transmitter got pulled into the river, but they had lines in Lake Pontchartrain that got pulled down as well.
Greg,
So it's like,
Did you hear that big word that you use instead of lines?
transmitter?
Big in the river.
Yeah, man.
That's it. It's in the river.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult to transmit
So,
power with that bitch underwater.
Dog, because everybody,
It's
dog,
kinda difficult.
My little niece and nephew, oh, I wonder what it's like for the power to go. So it went out quick, like the little tree branch
All right, we ready-
situation,
we
right?
ready for it to be
We gonna
over.
reroute that
You ready for it to be over?
to the shit that's fixed, right? Man, That power went out the second time.
Listen to me.
All the nigga,
I was on the
dog,
24th
all
floor of the
the
West.
bass came out the nigga voice on WWF.
He not even listening.
Oh Lord, the entity say the transmission tower in the river.
In Avondale, it's falling into the river.
In the river.
So I was on the 24th floor of the Westin, looking out at the city, and I didn't see nothing. I didn't see a damn thing. Listen to me. For as far as the eye could see, I couldn't see shit.
I'm suing Cabela's.
Nothing.
I'm putting it in the street.
Man, I know what I did take
Cabela's
a picture of
and Robinette.
was the night I went to sleep. Before I went to sleep, I took a picture of the river. It was flowing towards me. When I got up in the morning, it was flowing towards you. I was like, wait, stop, hold up, son. Time out. We ain't talking about Dawson's Creek. We talking about the Mississippi River. That bitch was flowing in the opposite direction. I was like, yeah, we got a problem.
So
We got a fucking problem.
Cabela's and Robinette. I still have not been able to pick up my shotgun from Cabela's or Bass Pro Shops or whatever it is in Gonzales or whatever. And I was scared for my life. This is negligent infliction of an emotional
distress.
Yeah, I stayed up during the storm. When the power went off, both of, my brother's family is at the house, my parents are at the house. Mm-hmm. I felt comfortable because I was hearing the subliminality, if that's a word. Dog, Cantrell and Ramsey, thank you. The sewage and water board, the pumps, the levees, they work. Energy then gave us these generators. I don't know what Energy about to do, but Energy then gave us these generators. The city ain't about to flood, period. They were setting that up. If you listen to the press conferences for like 48, 72 hours leading up to that, they felt confident that he was given the state. It was the wetlands and the barrier islands. It's the levee, and then it's the pumping stations. We straight with the flood.
Okay.
And it didn't flood.
All right.
Not in the N.O.
Right, it didn't.
But when that popped, dog, I'm telling you, I forgot who was on live. Because WWF, they come through.
But they couldn't control for 130
Great.
miles.
Even they signal. I've never heard.
They couldn't control for that.
I have never heard WWL signal waver. And for a good about 3-4 days, they was wavering.
Bro.
But when that power went out and the bass dropped out that boy's voice, I'm like, did this nigga just say
Man, I'm
the
mad.
shit in the river?
Yes.
Like, this ain't no get the bucket crew out there.
That's not what this is.
No.
Nope.
You don't have power.
The whole city, like all of the power that feeds into the entire city.
Yeah.
Is gone.
Like at this point, you got to get about 1,000 niggas riding bicycles.
If you ain't have your
Yeah.
gas generator,
Yeah.
you can forget about it.
And that's what I stayed.
You can forget
So
about
when you
it.
talk about this gas, nigga, dog, I say this was that Wednesday, maybe Thursday. I hit brothers on Louisiana and Chef, like right 10 minutes after they found out they pumps working. They didn't wham and job the generator or whatever.
Yeah.
Because was no Wi-Fi either. So the gas stations that got up and running, one, they had gas, and two, they had like the new old pumps that could run without the Wi-Fi.
All right.
Because it was cash only.
All right.
Man, I was coming down the Danziger Bridge, and I'm like, man, I got gas over there? Nigga, I had jumped the sidewalk, the bushes and everything. What? Still wait. My boss called me talking about, oh, you got a few. I'm like, look, I'm getting gas right now. I don't know if you know what time it is right now.
Yeah, it's go time.
But it's that Thursday after Ida.
Definitely go time.
And I was, man.
You don't know what the fuck you about to do then.
I didn't took it on my video. You can't, dog. 2 days later, they out there with the bulletproof vests and the rifle,
On
son.
top of the store.
They ain't waiting on no NOPD for no security.
Yeah.
The line back up the top of the Danziger Bridge, and you can't even pump your own gas no more. You ain't got to get out the car. Period. You coming with cash, you about to believe I pumped the amount of money you gave me to put in your car, and you about to get out of here. I'm talking about them boys out here. And that's what people don't realize. Oh, the Arabs, they coming to... Man, them boys, they built like this, like we built like this. They been out here.
Yeah, they get it.
They grew up in this too.
They get it in where they from.
Yeah.
They get it in.
Yeah.
This shit ain't
Them
nothing.
boys
This ain't
was out
nothing
there
to
with
them.
the AK and the bulletproof vest.
But look though,
behind some gas.
but they gonna ride for their shit though.
And I thought it got so bad. It didn't even get so bad. This was like early in.
They
I'm
ride
like,
for their shit.
Somebody gonna die behind this gas.
And that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened.
Everybody for the 99.
Wait, but see, you talking about I'm talking about the crew of niggas that was breaking into houses, stealing TVs during the storm, and
Look.
like during the storm. Like listen to me. I'm sitting on the deck of the parking lot, basically looking at the AC unit on top of Canal Place, right? I'm watching the wind blow this thing. Like I'm not talking about a window unit in your house. I'm talking about the one they sit on top of the big daddies, right? I'm watching that thing do like this, bro. I'm like, man, this is not that's not what we do here. Like we do a little bit of water, you know, like 130, 140, 150 mile sustained winds. Like we ain't built for that.
Ida was a full-fledged, that was a sleepover. Yeah. That wasn't no storm pack. Like I said, I stayed up.
Man, that thing second line over Louisiana for about
posted.
What?
Posted.
Second line on top the car for like about a good day, right?
Yeah.
Man, I ain't got nowhere to go. Fuck it, I'm gonna just dump this. I'm gonna just dump all this disease and pestilence on y'all right now. You know?
But it developed quick and it just posted.
Yeah, it just hit us.
Yeah.
You know, so it, you know, but it goes to the conversation about, you know, preparedness and all of that shit, man.
Yeah, you got to be ready.
You know, but then.
If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
You got to get ready, right? Right.
My pa, he feel, you know, NO niggas ain't trying to leave. They leave when it's like, especially once you get to a certain age, they feel like evacuating to the hotel.
Is the
L. As far as they gonna go.
But then it forces you to beef up your preparations on your own shit. Like talking to my pops, you know what I'm saying? He was like, look, as soon as all this shit gets straight, he's like, I won't have no light switches, but I'm gonna have a gas generator.
The gas generator! It's over!
I might not have no food in the refrigerator, but guess what's gonna be back there?
He first in line.
That gas generator.
He first in line, son.
He's gonna be second. Because I can tell you gonna be standing in front of him.
That nigga is not taking it on the gas generator.
My daddy made that statement to me when we was driving to Prosper, Texas. The gas generator was gonna be on top of the list, right? Before we even got to my brother's crib, my pa told me, watch how this gonna look next time.
Like 2-3 of his neighbors got the gas?
He said, I bet you it won't happen like this next time.
He feel like they stunting on him.
Are you dumb?
Oh, you could just bring the kids could come over, they could watch the Nickelodeon. Like, no!
Man, Senior ain't worried about running no hotel for nobody. All right, Senior worried about the comfort of his home.
But guess what?
Because he done got the crib to how he wanted it. So guess what?
That gas never stopped though.
What?
That shit turned on in less than 3 minutes.
Son, when you in there like cooking food in your own crib because you got a gas stove and people with electric stoves, they got nothing, and you got when you watching cable and the internet in your crib, the rest of your block is pitch black. Yeah, that's a whole
nigga,
different.
You got the patio lights on.
Out there with the tiki,
lighting up the whole
tiki torches lit.
Yeah,
you got the grill going and everything, man. We grilling steaks and lobsters out here, man.
We got the patio lights on. They was really stunting on us.
That's cold blooded.
They was, but I mean. Partaking like it's over.
So I heard a dude
It's
forgot.
over.
I was listening to. I don't remember what podcast it was. I'll be honest with you, so I don't even know who to give the credit to. I forget. A brother was saying, like, why hasn't the idea of like neighborhood solar / gas stations been brought about? So, like, instead of you paying taxes or some kind of fees to the city government, like your neighborhood, if you live in this neighborhood, you're responsible for making sure that these solar panels are charged or this gas, reserve is always full in case something like this happens, and have them stationed all throughout the city. And then if some shit like this happen, everybody's still straight. Like, yeah, well,
Right.
that's too much like right. Sound like a smart idea, and that's why that shit will never happen in a city like this. Cause that's fucking brilliant. We don't do brilliant down here. We do. So look, I could probably make 5 off this one. You could probably make 5 off it. So like, let's do it. Let's do it. That's the kind of shit we got going on here.
So I'm bubbling.
Uh-oh.
And
That's dangerous.
I'm bubbling. So I'm saying with respect to the old folk situation,
All right.
they have buildings, affordable, like housing structures, one that you familiar with, that never lost power.
Mm-hmm.
If we build another old folks home
That don't work like
that
that.
don't work like that, that's
not-
murder.
It's not a. It's, yeah,
You
it's not sufficient.
murdering.
It's not sufficient.
You murdering.
It's not sufficient.
Fuck sufficient. You murdering.
Yeah,
You did
that's
it on
not
purpose because you trying to make some cheese.
But unfortunately, what's the priority for our society right now? Is it the lives of our old folks, or is it making cheese?
Then, again, I told you my paw drove and your paw drove too. Like, he wasn't put on game early enough
Right.
with the natural.
Because he got about 17 of the
Man.
he got 17 of the gas
one.
generators, but that when the gas go out,
That's
it's
over.
over. Like,
You gotta let that shit cool down and everything. No. That man, natural gas. So my paw got a couple of neighbors.
oh, and I got to shout out Ron Wilkerson too, because he did say when I was on the road, he was like, "Oh yeah, Greg, we got the gas generator
Period.
going. I got the TV, I got the air running." I'm like, man, Ron Wilkerson stunning on me right quick. He's stunning right quick.
My
So we
poor neighbor
got to
who-
shout out the OG. Got to shout him out, man.
For energy, said natural gas is the
It's
most
the lick.
reliable source of
Yes,
energy
indeed.
in this country.
Yeah, it's clean too.
Even when the sewer broke and you got the ball water advisory,
The gas still popping,
the gas popping.
so you could boil the water. You still got to boil the water.
When the electricity went out,
You about to put it in the microwave.
you turn the gas. You ain't even had to turn on the gas
It's there.
generator
Yeah,
It just
pop,
started
it just pop up. Yeah.
on the first blackout.
Yeah.
And then when the power came back on, it didn't cut off. It was like, yeah, okay, we're gonna give it a chance. Sure enough,
I ain't about to be the reason.
man,
I'm not about to be the reason.
this man worked for energy. Greg, and I'm gonna tell you how, dog. He worked for energy
Right.
with the energy truck and the take-home truck.
Right.
That nigga truck ain't moved till about 6-7 days after the storm.
Ain't had no reason to.
Period.
I got that gas generator. We in here.
No. But they ain't even called him for work yet. It ain't even time for you. The whole power in the river. You thinking they worry about?
Some lines in the east.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had to replace the whole transmission tower. So when I heard that, I was like, all right,
It's
so
over.
let's shift the whole frame of reference
Over,
here.
son.
Because typically, you evacuate for the storm, power out, all right, power be gone about 2-3 days. You know what I'm saying? We be back and we good. See, when I heard the transmission tower in Avondale hit the river, I was like, that's damn near a month sound like to me.
Easy.
Because what really shook me was when the engineer got on and said, so during Katrina, that transmission tower didn't waver at all.
That
Didn't
let
wa-
me know.
Didn't waver.
They ain't even check it. They ain't try to.
He said this tower is the most he's the most structurally sound
Yeah.
engineering
thing
project
in the river.
in
the
the
river.
whole.
In
You can't
the
get
river.
you can't get no more engineering,
Yes.
structurally sound engineering
At the
by
bottom of the river.
for this piece.
Yeah.
There's no way you could do any better than they did,
Exactly.
and
Is at the bottom
I'd
of the
have threw
river.
that shit in the bottom of the river, man. Let me do that shit, man. It's like
Period.
flung that
Think-
shit like a frisbee.
I'd have
Fuck
give
out
a
of here,
fuck
man.
you dumb.
Threw that shit in the river. You know, and it's sunk like a turd. You know what I mean? So, you know, how you expect us to be back fully popping with the Superdome fully lit up in 3 days?
Nigga had a fire at the Super.
Even though the Superdome was lit up in about 2-3 days.
I went to a preseason game.
I'm just saying though. But yeah, but you know, this shit today there are Louisiana high school football games that are having to be rescheduled because the stadiums
Don't have power.
don't have power either on one side of the field or the entire stadium is, it's not in good condition. So,
But they playing football though.
but the games are scheduled
They're playing that football.
at the stadiums. So, you playing musical chairs. You got games that's being held on Sunday. High school games played on Sunday. High school games played on Wednesday. 3 or 4 high school games played back to back to back to back at the same stadium. So, Ida didn't skip nobody. Like everybody got touched. You know what I mean? Everybody got touched up. Ida hit a home run to everybody. Touched all the bases. So, but the city's still, I think, kind of in a little bit of shock from, the Ida let out, the bounce back. You still in a little bit of shock. Still a little
The
bit of shock.
Ida plus the COVID, schools still slow coming back, man. It's different, man. They say every disaster, every storm is different. This is just it's a different place to be, man.
Man,
It's a
I'm
different place to
concerned.
be.
Man, I saw a young man today with a sweatshirt that said the Net Gentilly, and I was like, man, the Net Gentilly, bro. Like, just thinking about education in the city, man. These kids are probably facing, like with us, we got some schools that are talking about they're going to be doing in-person instruction, but if you're not, directly on staff, they're not allowing outsiders to come into the
you
building
can't
and
come
do
in the
any
building.
supportive services with the young, any enrichment with the students. So, that's looking at another year of virtual programming and, the ability to have rapport with students and rapport with schools. Like everything is up in the air, man. You have a conversation with the administrator on Monday. By Monday evening, what they told you is completely obsolete.
Everything
Yeah,
different.
man, that's
Yeah.
completely obsolete, bro. Yeah, that was this morning's conversation. You know what I mean? This afternoon happened, and then we had to adjust to it. So, it's it's the state of affairs, bro. But if you want to be a part of this environment where you're influencing and, having a hand in the education of young people, you gotta jump through the hoops.
Yeah, and it kind of, in that sense, it reminds me of post Katrina.
Yeah. It's opportunity, like it was post Katrina, man.
Yeah.
It's opportunity.
And I think about where you and I are at in our careers, and people we moved back down here with after the storm. You was already down here.
Yeah.
And just seeing the work people put in post storm and how that really launched their careers and and even more so grab them into a spirit of service and activity. It's that kind of time, man.
Oh yeah.
It's that kind of time because this was not again, people talk about Katrina not being a man-made disaster. This wasn't that though.
It wasn't.
Well,
ain't nothing man-made about 130 miles an hour. Ain't nothing man-made about that, bro.
And is, I think, really shining a light. And again, I think we can be a model on how to handle some challenges. I think we uniquely situated, like we were 16 years ago.
Agreed.
We can get in there and have the hearts and minds kind of conversation. From a practical standpoint, it's minimal, relatively speaking, to like New York or Phoenix or you know,
Yeah.
when you're trying to deal with those kind of issues with, you know, vastly larger population centers,
Right.
you could kind of so people talking about okay, after Katrina, the levee protection and coastlands and making that investment and how it played in with infrastructure is a model for how it could work. And now people are thinking about okay, can New Orleans be the model for a modern power grid?
Mm.
I I think it's gonna happen because again, relatively minor investment on the grand scheme of things to protect. You know, a lot of people just think about
We the
French
lab,
Quarter,
dude. We the
we
lab.
the lab, and we
We
the
the
port,
lab. Yeah, we the
right?
lab.
So relatively minor investments, low
Right.
political risk,
Right.
and because it's impacted, and you know, when we talk about federal money, it impacted so many different states.
Mm.
Cause I didn't stop
Hell
in
no.
Hammond. That bitch wrecked shop all the
All the
way
way up
to
to New York.
Jersey.
Yeah,
Yeah, New
flooding,
York.
flooding
Yeah.
niggas out there.
So you got all of these different kinds of people
Disparate impacts. Yeah, yeah,
with disparate political, you know, bases respectively across all these different states. So and again, you know, you put New Orleans on TV, you use us to tell a story, but again, relatively minor investments and low political risk. So let's see what happens.
yeah, yeah. I think the the constant running is the thing that is, I guess, what kind of like wears me down a little bit. You know what I mean?
What you mean?
Like, so it's it's you know when you live here,
Yeah.
factored into your existence is the constant looking over the shoulder for when the storm is coming, right?
Yeah.
And it's it's the leave, come home, like for Ida.
Yeah.
There was supposed to be another little disturbance that was in the Gulf right around the time that we was planning to come home. So the discussion literally went from all right, so we gonna go home, hurry up and clean up, and then pack some shit, evacuate again, and hope and pray that we don't have to come home and clean up some shit again. You know what I mean? And it's like, but that is not an abnormal conversation for this region. But anywhere else, that's like,
So I disagree. And I had this conversation randomly, like with an Uber driver the other day. So people pick their battles, dog. Like, I'm not about to go live where they got forest fires or avalanches.
but those people are having the same conversation.
Yeah, but-
like to them, the forest fire is not as bad as running from a fucking hurricane.
But everybody pick their battles.
But-
like if I go to Phoenix, it's a drought. Or Vegas is a drought. And I can't drink water. Like, all of that's what's going on. So everybody pick. In some parts of the world, it's terrorism.
Right?
And some parts of the world, it's flood, famine, it's disease. People pick their battles, dog.
Right. And that's
And-
what I'm saying.
Dude,
that
asked
is
me,
that
like,
is
why
the part.
y'all keep coming back here?
But it's
I mean,
home, you dig? I mean,
one
I
is
ain't got
home.
I ain't got to explain that.
And then two, this what I do. And I told him, you know, I kind of thrive in this environment. And if people going to be here and come back, I'm going to be here. trying to
Yeah, of
help
course.
them
You're gonna do
get
everything.
back
I mean, shit.
to
That's the
what they
reason.
know.
That's the reason you returned after undergrad. You know what I mean? Well, that's the reason I returned after
Yeah.
undergrad. You returned after grad school. You know, when you was heading to law school. That's the reason you returned, to bring all of the talents and experience that you
gotta come
gained,
back. I mean,
and bring it back and plant a tree here in the city. That's what you
This
do.
the battle I'm picking. I'm
That's what you
picking
do.
my battle. I'm not about to go live nowhere where my house might just catch on fire. I'm not about to go live nowhere where I could go jogging and get caught in an avalanche. I'm not about to do that.
Yeah.
That ain't about to be me. I'm not about to go live nowhere where they can have a junta or a coup. No, I'm good on that.
Well, technically, we do live where all of
Man.
that shit is possible.
I
I mean,
I feel like whatever possible, they not about to bring that shit in St. Rock.
Yeah. Yeah. But I just, I mean, it is.
People pick their battles.
You are. I was thinking about elders who were on like fixed incomes. At the time that the storm hit, it was right in that we done kind of used up our disbursement for the month, and we ain't really about to get the disbursement for the next month for another 2 weeks. So it's like these people have a forced experience that they don't even have the resources to cover, and like shit like that. You know what I mean? Like that shit wears on people, and
Yeah.
it's not a function of, I'm out this. Well, the drive to leave the city is not because of hurricanes. It's because of other shit, right? But that is absolutely something that people have to take into consideration for people who are already on, fixed, low strapped incomes. That shit ain't easy. Cause I mean, for somebody who has a job, I think I get paid fairly well. That shit wasn't easy for me. So I can only imagine for somebody who was, like really, like literally living check to check, son. Like that shit is tough.
So
That shit is tough.
you are big in way more macro, kind of political, socio-economic issues than just what happened, right? So we talking about the most vulnerable among us.
Right.
The standard of living should be in a certain place where having 800 senior citizens on assisted living shipped to one warehouse and nobody, one, in charge of the warehouse, if that's the evacuation site, but two, what you mean you gotta move all of these people? Like nobody moved out of 900 Poydras. I work with companies where people calling us because it don't get cooler than 80 degrees. Well, that's because we're not operating on the power grid. Y'all straight.
Right.
You go wash your clothes
y'all
in
got
hot
power.
water. All of that.
You can wash your ass.
All of that. Your whole family over here right now. This apartment was built for 4 people,
Right.
and you got, because need dictates,
12 in the
12 over here.
in a 2-bedroom.
You got to live with this 81
In the 2-bedroom,
right now.
yeah.
You got to live with this 81.
Yeah. And the fact that there's so many people in it, that's contributing to the heat as well.
Period.
But
Yeah.
that
I'm saying all that.
Yeah.
So what is the minimum standard of living that we as a society would accept? Because capitalism could take care of,
well, I think we see what's the minimum. Like
I don't think
there's no floor.
Man,
There's no floor. That's the minimum. There is no floor. If we can't care for our elders,
Greg,
I mean, what the fuck?
3-4 days after the storm, when everybody, you would have never thought that many people got generators. Like,
Oh yeah. Oh
that
shit, man. When you see people standing in line at the gas
Greg.
station with the gas cans,
gas
it's
cans.
understood. It's understood.
Gas cans.
I saw the dude with the dude
my buckets.
Man, no, man. This man taped the top to the back of his truck and just put the nozzle in the back of his truck and
Fill it up.
told the cashier, man, give me 200 on 4. And
200.
just put all of it in the back of the truck.
I'm talking about
Nah, son.
not just the
200 on
custodian
please.
lady mop bucket, because they definitely had them out there too.
200 on 4, please.
The custodian lady mop bucket and the 5-gallon data that you just buy from Lowe's that they got as soon as you walk in.
Yes,
Fill all that up.
people standing in line at the
I
gas
need
station.
2
Not
of
cars.
them.
Not cars.
Yeah,
I
people.
mean, people standing in line.
I need 2 of the
At the
5-gallon
pump.
datas, and I'm about to put them on my bike and ride them, because they only had when it first popped,
I ain't seen
4 gas stations open.
if there were cars in line,
Dog, people was
the
imagining.
line was 9 blocks. After
Easy.
it wrapped around the gas station,
Yo.
it was 9 blocks up the street.
Easy though.
That's the gas station where they had cars in line.
No, it was so like
The
people
gas
was
station where they
so-
had people in line, like the line was like down the block, around the corner. So it's like
I'm guilty of this too. So like
these people
first
stand in
week,
line with gas cans, one in each hand and one under their arm.
that
you know what I mean?
first
Like,
week, if you saw, it could be somebody
and
just
then there were
pulled
no gas
over
cans to be
in the gas
purchased
station.
anywhere in the city limits.
All
Nowhere.
it was cars that ran
I
out
had to
of
drive
gas.
to Gulfport, Mississippi to drive
Easy.
my shit. I mean, to buy my shit.
You gonna drive 2 hours or you gonna wait 2 hours?
Drive to Gulfport, Mississippi
gas.
to buy a gas can and to get gas. You're right.
You gonna drive 2 hours or you gonna wait 2 hours?
Yep.
Dog. And if it was
That's
like
the first place I found gas.
people would, you just see like 2 or 3 people all be like, hold up, the bill light came on, like, you know, the neon light they say we open. Shit was running on a battery or something. And like 2, 3 people pulling the gas station. And like 30 seconds later, you have a line down the block and the gas station not even open.
Ain't even open. Yep.
And like, I was driving around, and you know, one of my coworkers was saying, "Man, it seemed like a lot of people, like the gas station's opening back up." I'm like, "Look very closely. Do you see anybody pumping gas at that gas station right now?
See anybody going in and out the motherfucker?
Nobody. But they there. They there. It was
Lined
like
up.
Walking Dead, dog. It was cognitive dissonance. Like they was hoping
That some gas was gonna pop
that
up.
some gas was about to pop up. And I really had to tell, I'm like, look, do you see any gas pump in a car right now at that gas station? 15 people at a gas station. It was crazy.
I
dog.
filled up my gas tank in Biloxi, Mississippi, and drove on that tank of gas till I got to Alexandria, Louisiana.
I had my popcorn ready.
On that
dog.
one tank of gas.
I
But I had 2 gas cans that I filled up in Gulfport and brought them with me. I put one in my daddy truck and one in my truck. And like this don't get us to Prosper, Texas.
Look.
We in trouble.
So,
We in trouble.
and dog, as soon as I saw the scarcity, I'm like, somebody gonna die behind this gas.
I knew it.
And
I got the alert when I was driving on
I
that?
witnessed
59. Man
I-
got shot in the chest at the gas station behind gas.
I witnessed what was a potential, but
And the people
thankfully
didn't even
averted.
stop. They just moved
They
on.
moved. They went around this nigga,
They
dog.
ain't even stop. I'm not about to get out of line because he
What?
dead. I'm about to get my gas. These people ain't even stop.
No. No, dog.
What am I stop? You know how long I've been standing in this line? That's his fault. He did.
That's crazy.
Yeah, son. That was that. But that is the part that I hate about the storm, because it always brings that element out of people, because everybody has to fend for
It wasn't
themselves.
people.
With
It wasn't people, dog.
when you got limited resources, man, like
No.
that shit forces people to do some shit. They start thinking different, bro.
What I will say though is, it wasn't people. That was a one isolated. I thought it was about to be much worse than that, dog. Like being here and seeing that, like, because that happened later. That happened about 10 days after the storm.
Yeah, I'm talking about the shit that wasn't reported though.
They had all that.
Yeah,
Like I just told you, Brothers, the Arab dudes who run Brothers.
that shit was on Nola.com, man. It was on standing on top the
Yeah.
on top the building. That was the
Yeah.
cover story picture. I mean, I'm
I
clear.
thought it would have been much worse, but I think because
Lady got killed because they broke in her house, wanted her to get out. She didn't want to get out, so they killed her.
Yeah.
Like, really? Like, y'all, looting was that important. You know what I'm saying? That you had to take somebody's life, man. Like that happened, bro. Like that's man.
I don't think that's a story of these last 3 weeks though. Like those are isolated incidents, and yes, shameful, shouldn't have happened, can't happen. I don't really think that's the overriding story or the narrative of this.
For those families, bro.
Of course,
Shit,
man.
yeah, man.
Of course.
Yeah. And that's
Of
that
course.
that is why I'm saying for the absolute value of the fact that it brings out that element in people.
That's-
you know, like that's that, but to a degree, some of that shit can be controlled for.
I don't even think it's bringing out the element in them people, dog. I think they've always lived like that. I just think like the people who like bringing that type of energy that you talking about, they've been living in that space. That's not the majority of what I seen.
I'll give you 50-50 on that. Cause I mean I don't
The young dude who shot the dude at the gas station in Cliffview, I know that family.
right.
And I don't feel like, but for a gas scarcity,
That would have
that's
been
it. But I can't say that's out of pocket, young, ignorant, N.O. nigga shit.
right. That's what I'm saying.
He cut the line.
And got
and
mad
he
when he got
felt
checked.
pretty- yeah.
Mad when he got checked. Yeah.
That's N.O. shit, dog. That ain't just cause of stomp. That shit can happen on. That shit do happen on every weekend. They done made songs about, bitch, you, but watch my shoe. Like all that kind. You step on a nigga's shoes, he feel played. That's random N.O. shit. The nigga that got ate by the alligator. Like,
Well, I think he got pushed, but that's my
again,
that's my opinion.
but again, they had
That's my opinion.
like they only had what 12, 20 people who they linking directly to the storm, and that's including them old people they fucked over, dog. That's including that. I just think this really showed if like infrastructure, all these people be talking about infrastructure at the federal, that's mouth talking. If infrastructure was a thing, nothing would happen with Ida would be a thing ever.
So when they stage those electric trucks, the service vehicles,
Yeah.
with the basket,
The bucket
right?
truck.
Yeah, with the basket. When they stage those vehicles, like where is the counterpart that's like the gas trucks? Like, why does that shit always, like, 'cause we were leaving, like, all we saw was gas trucks coming in. Like, that's too fucking late. Like, people need to get the fuck out of the city. Like, why can't
I
you
feel
stage
you
that
on
shit?
that.
Like, at least, because if the bucket truck ain't gonna blow over, the
Yeah.
gas truck gonna blow over.
So
Like,
this the one.
I mean,
thing-
I might be dumb as fuck on this topic, but I'm just
Nah.
saying, like, I mean, if we gonna sit a basket out there that has something that could,
It's not dumb. So what I learned I'm like, the governor was like, y'all tripping. Like, we produce a lot of gas that niggas used to drive in for the country, right?
yeah,
And we can't produce the gas because the refineries don't have no power.
right,
So and gas, a lot of people don't know is not shelf stable. It like expired, like dairy.
yeah,
So once it's gone to the other states and distributed, to get it back,
it's the L.
you can't do that.
Can't do shit with it.
So that is what happened. It's not like the gas didn't exist. We couldn't refine it because the power was out. And so that make you think about, like, how is the gas people not running on gas? How the gas people go out of power? You the gas people.
But
That don't make sense to me.
this is my thing. This is my thing. If the gas is not shelf stable, then what the fuck are y'all bringing back? If you bringing the gas back, you could have had the shit closer, so it could have. You could have.
But no, you getting all these people emergency. So you getting all of these people emergency reserves, right? So no matter what happened, dog, like zombies could take over America, the military not about to be running out of gas. They got
I don't
gas.
give a rat's ass about the military.
Exactly, that's what I'm trying to tell you. We're asking states to dip into their reserve. Like it's like a logistical supply chain issue. They always want to keep, like if it take 50 gallons to run our state, we about to keep 50 gallons.
Yeah.
Now, if you asking us to tap into the 50 and we don't know where the next gas coming from, I can't call
That's
it.
That's where I call bullshit. That's where I got to call bullshit. These motherfuckers know where that shit coming from, man.
So running, I'm about to tell you, I'm about to put it like this. Everybody down here up until the storm, Ida, you ain't know you needed to have a diesel generator to power your building. If you any kind of business, work your salt, a hotel, the dome,